Now, one of the best parts of LinkedIn clearly is the contact section. This is the quality and quantity and ease with which you can maintain connections and contacts with people, some of whom you've known for years and maybe have worked with for a long time, or your existing customers and prospects, almost essential, and people maybe that you would like to meet or would be interesting for you to stay in connection with. There's a couple of rules on LinkedIn that are worth mentioning here if you're not aware of them. The first one is you're not allowed to approach anybody to ask them to connect with you unless you have a valid reason or you know them. So it will ask you why you know this person or how you know this person, and you will have to specify that. So you just can't, unlike other systems, contact people gratuitously. If people do it to you, you can always say no and perhaps report them if they're doing it persistently. But the second suggestion, not really a rule, is to connect with everybody. When you get over about 500 or so connections, LinkedIn takes on a different level of activity for you, and you will be recommended to others and people will be suggested to you that will be uncannily accurate in terms of your profile. So it's very important to connect with lots of people. You can always unconnect later if you find they're pestering you or you're not interested in what they have to say, or they're no longer useful to you. But the more connections you have, the more useful it's going to be. Now there are a couple of useful tools on here. Obviously you can add connections, you can obviously import your database and those kind of things. I would resist doing that too much en masse because that can lead to a certain lack of control from your side. You can send invitations and see where they are. You can do searches and the system will find people that you might know based on your previous employment or the type of people you're connected with. So once again, if you just sit down and every 2 or 3 days just have a look through, connect with people, invite people, but also when anybody wants to connect with you, make sure that in fact you say yes nearly all of the time, if not every time. Now there's another very useful facility that I only found about recently that I think will be useful to a lot of you, is export connections. Down the bottom here, when you're browsing your contacts, allows you to export all your LinkedIn connections into a variety of file formats. Now this is great because it means you can import it into other CRM type programs or indeed into Google Mail if you're using that one. If you happen to use Microsoft Outlook, of course you can import to that, but my other top tip is to click on Tools right down the bottom of the screen, and this will allow you to download a toolbar which will integrate into LinkedIn and will allow you then to communicate with LinkedIn contacts and import their details into Outlook and vice versa. So it's a really useful tool, and you can see there that it's also available for various browsers, and down the bottom here some other services as well. But the Outlook Social Connector I would definitely recommend. It is quite amazing. If you're in the Google Mail space, as I am, then I would look out for a program called Rapportive, which does much the same thing, working within Google.